What do you think Lindsey Graham feels about Ted Cruz?
He despises him. He hates him. He can't stand him. He's disgusted by him.
Lindsey Graham, one of our senators here in South Carolina, dropped out of the presidential race in December, so a few months ago. And he's yet to endorse any of the remaining presidential candidates. But word on the street is that he has arrived at a decision and has endorsed a candidate. I'm excited to find out who it is.
You have some news.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a fundraiser with and for Senator Cruz. I think he's the best alternative to Donald Trump. He's certainly not my preference. Senator Cruz is not, but he's a reliable Republican conservative, of which I've had many differences with. I doubt Donald Trump's conservatism, and I think he'd be a disaster for the party. So I'm going to try to help raise money for Senator Cruz and the pro-Israel community.
Okay, so you are raising money for him. Are you endorsing him?
Well, I think
Is it effectively an endorsement?
Well, what I'm saying, John Kasich, I think, is the most viable general election candidate. I just don't see how John gets through the primary. This is an outsider year. He's seen as an insider. So I think the best alternative to Donald Trump to stop him from getting 1237 is Ted Cruz. And I'm going to help Ted in every way I can. I'm going to raise money for him in the pro-Israel community. And if I were in one of the states coming up in terms of voting and I didn't like Trump, I'd vote for Cruz. I have really doubts about Mr. Trump. I think Mr. Trump is not a Republican. I don't think he's a conservative. I think his campaign's built on xenophobia, race baiting, and religious bigotry. I think he'd be a disaster for our party. And as Senator Cruz would not be my first choice, I think he is a Republican conservative who I could support.
What? How did he's endorsing Ted Cruz? But I thought he hated.
Not just endorsing Ted Cruz. He is getting pimped out by Ted Cruz.
He's fundraising for Ted Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
The same Ted Cruz that he has spoke about negatively time and time again.
Yeah.
This is the guy that said, if you're a Republican and your choices are Donald Trump and Ted Cruz in the general election, it's the difference between being poisoned or shot. You're still dead. So he's dead. He's dead. Because it's either, I don't know which one is which, poisoned or shot, Trump or Cruz, but you're dead either way.
Yeah, which one represents poison?
Exactly. I don't know, but you're dead either way. This is the same guy that made a joke about Cruz being killed on the Senate floor. And if the trial was held in the Senate, nobody would vote to convict.
Okay.
This is the same guy.
Lindsey Graham is essentially kind of sticking to his values. Think about it. He's sticking to his values, and there's kind of. He's sticking to his values. So if he doesn't think that Trump actually has conservative values, which has been an argument amongst the conservative base, if you really do think that, then Cruz would be
the best alternative.
Now, it does kind of still look kind of dubious after all of that stuff he said.
Oh, yeah. See, this is very comical. Now, I understand what he's saying because he doesn't think Trump represents the Republican Party. He's not a true conservative, and he would be very damaging to the point where that he's scared the Republicans couldn't recover.
He could damage the Republican Party. I think the Republican Party without Trump was already damaged.
Well, that's one point.
And I mean, he said race baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot who does not represent the values of the Republican Party. What?
That must have been a joke.
That must have been a joke.
Yeah.
That must have been a joke. That must have been a joke because to me,
Trump
it's on exactly.
Yeah.
Like I like how you just kind of like shoved that over to Trump and like gave Trump like unilateral
He's
responsibility.
The whole mantle.
He's holding, Like, I'm thinking, like, no, Trump is the logical consequence to the Republican platform. Sorry.
Yep. They've been pushing this way for
he's
time
been
now.
they've been pushing those buttons in their base for a long time.
Think about it. How could somebody like Trump and his message resonate within the Republican Party if they weren't already pushing this direction?
If they weren't already like riled up for it, if they weren't already like ginned up for a candidate like Trump. It's not like they just saw Trump on TV and was like, ooh, we like that. No, they already had those attitudes and those beliefs.
Right.
He even said Kasich is probably the best choice or something like that.
Yeah, in the general,
In the general, he said he's the best choice. But he says, but he's an insider. He's an insider.
Yeah, this is the outsider year.
So Cruz is an outsider?
Well, he's an outsider to the Senate Republicans that don't like him.
But that doesn't make him an outsider in regards to government.
No. Because he supports the same corruption that they all support. Where's he getting most of his money from? Is it fossil fuel companies? Is it the Koch brothers? Well, I don't know if it's specifically the Koch brothers, but I know it's the fossil fuel industry.
To me that doesn't wash.